There's a justice report and the vouchers.
In there with it? Oh, I'll find it.
All right, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance. Neil, would you lead us in the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Linda, would you lead us in roll call?
Sarah,
Here.
Neil,
Here.
Chris,
Here.
Hank, and Betty, all accounted.
All right, then I'll open it up right up to the public hearing regarding the 2018 budget, which is here in front of you. This is in the process of budget submissions. We have gone through the tentative. This is the preliminary discussed by the board. While we don't have any written recommendations yet from the auditor, our state audit, we were given verbal recommendations, and this budget is absolutely a reflection of that. Over many years, the town of Palatine had budgeted very conservatively, meaning that we wanted to make sure that we had enough money in the budget to cover our expenses and not go over our expense lines. But year after year, that accumulated so that we had a relatively large fund balance. There had been a confusion about whether there was a capital reserve fund that was not, so here we are just sitting with this fund balance. What this budget does is it allows for, we budgeted knowing that, we may overspend on some lines. We'll certainly try not to. But rather than having taxpayers pay for that potentiality, instead we would draw from fund balance next year. So we were able to cut about $100,000 from the budget overall, and reduce the tax levy very significantly. So you see the tax levy is on the last page. Major line items last year, we had not budgeted anything for equipment, although we did end up purchasing some equipment. This budget is for the replacement of a plow. How old is our oldest plow again, Marty?
It's 1996.
So
over 21 years.
A 21-year-old plow, and that approximately $250,000 for that plow would come from highway fund balance, not from the tax levy. And I'll go ahead and open it up. Dorothy.
I know that you give a substantial amount to the youth, which I think is great. But the senior citizens used to get a small amount. The only one we get money now from is Arkel. Thank goodness. And because we used to get from the community chest, which I guess is no longer, they aren't enforced any longer. So all we get is Arkel. And we used to get a small amount from the town.
Do you know how much it was?
$200.
And you know why?
I don't know, because every year I wrote a request telling what we were doing with our money. And but I see it's been a couple of years since we have gotten any money.
But, so did we budget for it and then not spend it?
No, we just didn't budget for it.
Okay, when was the last time we got it?
If you look on there, I believe it's on there. It was 15, maybe.
I don't know why it would have dropped off.
I don't either.
I mean, it's a small amount of money, it doesn't.
That's right. But it means quite a bit to us.
Is it on page 6 or 7, Sarah? I think maybe it says programs for age and contract. And it was on there in 2016, 17 they dropped it off.
the reason it would have been dropped out of is if it wasn't spent. So if we adopted, would it be that, were you doing the letters? You,
Yeah, I used to.
okay, you know what, probably it just, there was no request and then it didn't get paid out. Was there a request that, and then there was no payment after?
I truthfully,
Okay,
I think the last time I made a request, it was not given to us.
okay. So, I mean, I don't see any problem with that anyway.
I see
Not
no
at all.
issue at all.
Matter of fact, we were at the budget meeting, I think we actually even said, what was this? That's not here.
Right, I do believe we did talk about it. I have no problem with it. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments? Paul?
Excuse me, Paul Spencer. You just mentioned that we've, wanted to let the highway purchase a new plow truck, correctly? Is that going to be done through state bid? And is that going to be to match the truck that we are replacing, or is it going to be bigger and stronger and better that we don't need? How do we answer that question?
Will you address that in your supervisor remarks? Not yet.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Motion to close public comment, the public hearing?
I make a motion to close public hearing?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, moving on to the regular meeting portion of the meeting. Artie?
All right, since last month, which has only been a few weeks actually, we've graded the dirt roads, we've been cleaning ditches, we had a bunch that leaves collect in, we dig the leaves out of them, keep from flooding. We've been cutting dead and fallen trees, we continue to do maintenance on equipment, cutting shoulders, fixing washes, and we had to sand the roads for the first time last Friday. So, winter will be here before we know it. And to answer Paul's question, the truck that's due to be replaced is an all-wheel drive. It will be replaced with another all-wheel drive. 2 wings. That's the only truck we have with 2 wings. For the sole purpose, if we have to put a V-plow onto it, you want 2 wings to keep the snow away from the truck, otherwise the snow falls back onto the truck. And it would be a 10-wheeler, not a 6-wheeler.
And the one we have is a 6-wheeler?
Only has the 6-wheeler.
And why would you go to a 10?
More useful. That truck now, because of this box is so small and stuff, it's not used all summer long, whereas a new one could be used year round.
Got it. Do we need one year round? Do we need another one year round?
Yeah, well,
Because the other ones we can,
the thing is, when you go out on the road or you're hauling material, when you're using a 6-wheeler, you're hauling half as much material, same amount of time.
right. And what's the cost differential?
Probably between all-wheel drive 6-wheeler and all-wheel drive 10-wheeler, probably gonna be, well, the box will be a little bit longer, of course, a little bit more cost for that. Probably, I'd say $15,000 or $20,000 as a guess.
What's standard? Are there 6-wheeler plows out there?
Oh, yeah. We've got some 6-wheeler plows, but
Okay.
this truck in particular, the box is very small onto it. And a lot of times he goes out sanding, especially during freezing rain, he can't haul enough sand to sand his run.
Well, you asked for 270, we put in 250. If,
I got numbers earlier in the year, a new one's approximately, budget numbers is 286
for a 10.
for a 10-wheeler, all-wheel drive.
Okay.
And in the budget, I put in 270, figuring we could get 15 or 16,000 for the one we got.
And when do you need to get your order in?
You can order it anytime, it's gonna take 4
To get it
months
for
for the.
next winter.
What's that?
To get it next winter.
You're probably looking at 6 months build time, from the time you order it till the time you get it.
So like if the incoming council,
If it was ordered in January, you probably have it middle of summer.
so there's no difference than if we did it now or.
No, you're still not gonna get it till middle of summer.
So that's not really a decision.
No, that's not nothing has to be done.
But at any rate, the decision we're making tonight is on the budget, and there's 250 in there, that doesn't cover the 286, basically. Anything else for your report?
No, that's all I got unless you guys got questions. And other than that, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thanksgiving, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to say, Art, what you did out here today looks good. Thank you.
And I'm pretty hopeful too, after what I saw out here today, that
Well,
when
how
you
far
go to
did
the
you
water
get
line,
down?
we were down pretty good.
Were you?
And I don't, we never found the water line up here by the building, and we were down at least 2 feet right here by the building.
Okay.
And he was a good 2 feet the whole way across the parking lot, and we never hit ledge rock or nothing, so I don't know why the water line would only be 28 inches deep if that's what it is.
If that's true, right.
Right.
Yeah, that's what, the reason I was asking, trying to see what you ran into in hopes that this
We
water
only
line
found
would
one
be
rock, and that was over here by the building.
perfect,
So, I mean, when we go to do the water line, hopefully we can get it down good and
Hopefully.
deep so it don't freeze.
hopefully. Yeah, it looks good out here, you did a nice job. Everybody did. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheryl?
Okay, last month I handled one complaint. I issued 11 10-day notices for non-renewal and one for no license. I received one call about a dog being found, and I ended up referring her to the shelter because she had held the dog for 2 weeks before calling me. I had my yearly inspection with Ag and Markets and all went well. I'm just waiting for the final paperwork, and I will submit a copy of that once I get it. We had a hearing on November 9th for a disputed appearance ticket that I had issued, and the judge ruled in my favor, and ended up, the resident got fined and was given 1-year conditional discharge because she was guilty. And Sarah, the conversation you and I had on the 11th, or on the 2nd of November about the whole emergency services with Dr. Ennis,
Yeah, we still gotta get her in contact.
and
Yeah.
have we cut her a check or anything yet?
Not yet, but we'll get it to her.
Okay,
I left a message with her, we're good.
okay. Alright, that's all I have.
Cheryl, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because we're gonna talk about a resolution.
Yes.
What has been your experience with when you issue these tickets? Do people just blow it off because they know?
Yeah, I've been doing this for 16 years and it's been happening the whole time. A lot of times people either don't come and don't appear, or they come in and appear, they plead guilty, and then they don't come back and pay the fine. So the town's losing money. And it ends up being a waste of my time. There's this one family in the town of Palatine that I also have to take an officer with me to go there. So it's also wasting their time. It's wasting the clerk's time, the court clerk's time, with the paperwork and everything if they don't show up. I mean, there's one family, and it's the ones that I have to take the authorities with me. The judge has a stack of tickets in there, at least an inch thick, where they have either not appeared or they have appeared and pled guilty and not paid the fine. And it's not just that family, I mean, it's other people also. It's just been an ongoing problem for 16 years. And I've asked and I've talked to the judge many times about this, and for the longest time, nothing could be done. Then probably about 2 weeks ago, I was reading the Leader Herald on Sunday, and I saw in there where there was a lady from Gloversville that a bench warrant was issued for her arrest, and she, because of a non-licensed dog, and she ended up turning herself in. So I cut that article out, I brought it into the judge, and I said, now look, I said, things must have changed because they're issuing bench warrants. So he researched it, and he called me back, and he said that it can be done, but the wording in our local dog law, it has to be included in our local dog law. So that's why I'm asking, I would like to see our local dog law amended to include this, so the judge will be able to issue a warrant.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
It's a little, so having the DCO bring potential amendment to law is I mean, unless I'm not sure of the process here. Like, I understand that this is something you'd like to see happen and it would save some of your time. On the other hand, it brings a level of punishment to, you know, our residents that they don't, like, all of a sudden, it's one thing that somebody doesn't pay a $25 ticket. It's another thing when taxpayers are paying for somebody being in jail for not paying their dog license. So, you know, certainly it's up to anybody on this board to make the introduction, but just as a matter of clarification, it wouldn't be a DCO that is bringing something to the council.
If someone's jailed from this town, do we pay the jail?
Oh, the county,
The
your
county
county
does.
taxes do, sure.
Well,
You're talking about thousands of dollars.
before we change the ethics law, and potentially still within it, there are ways to punish people or to have something disagreeable happen to them if they break it. It seems reasonable to argue that we should have some way of enforcing the dog law. Even if it's just, hey, you could be going to jail or you could pay a bigger fine right now because you didn't comply with the law. And if we don't
It's gonna
have
be-
that,
People who can't pay the $25 are gonna be the people who then, you know, it's like punishing poor people for being poor.
well, I know, but I mean, that's true, but $25 is not a whole lot of money.
Well, we've got to do something. Something has to be done. Otherwise, Cheryl's wasting her time, the judge, the deputy, everybody involved is just wasting time. Maybe we could set it up for community service, the first offense or something like that.
Well, that, the judge decides that. I mean,
Yeah.
community service
Correct.
is one of the considerations.
Mm-hmm.
They will be, the thing is, they are being arrested and held, and, you know,
Well,
that's the difference here.
but for something that minor, even if someone's arrested, they would generally be allowed to go on their own recognizance, not put in the jail down in Fonda, don't you think?
Depends on what else they have.
You know, the problem is that poor Cheryl's spending all this time doing this,
But
and then the
Cheryl's
rest.
getting paid for it too.
I
And
understand,
it's
we're
not just
paying,
my time, you know, it's other people's time
Yeah.
also,
and it's just that the residents aren't
ignoring it.
complying with just,
How many, you know?
I don't, the judge.
That's a good thing
The
to know.
judge
Like,
has
if we're
all
talking
this.
about 3 people, I don't know what we're doing here.
No,
Right.
there's quite a few. I
Well,
mean,
let's
over
give some
16 years.
numbers. But I mean, without a doubt, there's no question that instituting this, to me, is actually a greater burden on taxpayers than what's already happened. Cheryl, we pay her for her time, and, you know, maybe you wouldn't have to spend so much time. It could save you a bunch of time, and maybe we could lower that budget line if you're not working as much for the town. If the judge is same thing, spending a lot, you know, a huge amount of time on this, then, you know, we'd have to look at that. But still, they do receive a paycheck. Once you get into the business of arresting people and potentially locking them up for not paying a dog license, that's huge, you know, that's real government expense. That's, you know, talking about police, you're talking about prisons, you're holding people. So that's, you know, it seems a little bit silly to me because we're just talking about dog licenses.
I don't
It's
think
not
it's
just
either-
licenses,
It's not
it's
an either
all
or
this.
choice like that. I mean, you can put a little bit of teeth into it that are appropriate to the situation, but you're not necessarily sending people to jail. And as you say, it's the judge's
Discretion,
prerogative.
right.
Yeah. You're not necessarily sending people to jail for this.
Right, we're making a decision on that, we don't have any control over the penalty over the person.
Sure.
So we're saying, okay, sure, now you can arrest them, and we don't really
And a
know.
just justice would say that's proportionally not a very big deal, except, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you've
But
been
let's
doing.
look at the town
You've been,
justice
you've been
system.
doing, I was trying to leave that out, but Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you've been doing this for 10 years now. You know, I take it there are some repeaters. So,
Yeah.
maybe they need to do community service or something.
Increase their fine after so many tickets, and then if they don't pay it after so
But it's
many
gotta be
days.
written in our,
Right.
Something's got to be there in writing for the justice to work with.
I don't know.
Okay, anything else?
no.
I have some Amish residents and a couple English residents from this town who still haven't gotten their star checks from last year, for star checks for this year. I'm in the process of taking on New York State Department of Tax and Finance. I think I've made some headway. I did get an email from one of the higher ups. He's supposed to be taking care of it within the next couple weeks, getting checks out to these people. I've been trying since last February to get things situated, and they were ignored. I've been emailing them once a week since July 18th and getting no response. And so yesterday, after calling the assessor helpline, which didn't really help, I kind of fired off, not a nasty email, but an email that said, I'm tired of waiting and nobody's answering me, so please somebody. And they did call in. So they're supposed to be working on it within the next couple weeks to get everybody to check. So if anybody gets complaints, that's why. Exemption renewals have all gone out, getting people in, picking stuff up for anybody. And if there's anybody that needs somebody's picked up, I'll go out and get them. I did try to set up with Eli. I was hoping for this Friday to do the Amish exemption form, but everybody's busy, so we're going for the 10th and 12th of January. So everybody
That still
has.
works for the timeline.
Yep, yeah, that's fine. They just push it out every year. They used to let me come in November when it was nice. Now we're into January and February, so. Cold War vets exemption, everybody has a copy. The state has authorized that the time limit can change, because when it originally was put into place, there was a 10-year time limit and an annual reapply for it. And they have removed that. They did authorize the county is taking on the Cold War with no time frame. So I'm just asking if the town wants to do it. We would really need to do change it, amend the law that we already have, and then have a public hearing next month, if possible, to get it done so that it's done within the time frame for that the state mandates, which I believe is 60 days prior to taxable status. I have to double check with the county. So,
Dan, how many people are getting the Cold War exemption? Do you think?
We got a 22, I believe it is.
Okay, so it's significant. Would you say it's significant?
Yeah, it's a 10% reduction.
But I mean, we have 22 residents, so that's
Yes. Yep.
5% of, or 3% of our.
We've got 3,200 residents. I
Right,
think.
but I'm talking about taxable property.
Households.
We got 1,748 properties.
Okay.
They
So it's,
can't do the math that
no,
fast.
no, that's good. Okay, so it's like 1.5%.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
explain why we have to do this again?
the state, when the state first put out the Cold War veterans exemption, the town adopted it, but it came with a 10-year limit. So once the 10 years was up, they lost the exemption. They've now decided that the state removed that clause in it, but it's all up to the local municipalities and taxing entities if they choose to do it for the residents.
So we
Can
basically
you say the
just
start
renew it.
and end date of this? When did it start and when did it end?
2000, it started, the local laws from
2008.
2008, and it started on the 2009 tax roll. So everybody,
How are we supposed to have learned of this? I'm just curious.
how are you supposed to have learned of
This exemption.
it was on the news? And, that we did a local law for it back in 2008.
Oh.
Yeah.
You haven't gotten your exemption?
Yeah,
No, and I
you're
never heard of it either.
See that? We got a lot to
Sorry. Should have called, I would have told
23.
you.
Should have called, should have been sent.
Yeah, like I said, so most people's will expire in 18, after the 18 tax roll. The county has adopted to take it without a term limit, so, and to remove the annual application process, so. Hank, you better get down before March 1st.
But you're just saying it would apply for 1 year and then it stops.
No, what originally was they wanted them to reapply every year while they were getting the exemption. Now that's gone at the state level, which the state removed it. The state makes up the exemption and they make the rules for it. They changed the rules this year for it. So now Cold War veterans can apply and they can keep it for as long as they live in that residence, and they don't have to reapply every year.
So one, as it stands now, would this apply to state income tax or
No.
just property?
Just property tax.
Okay, so as it stands now, you could apply this year and then get it forever, but
Right.
not after next year, as it stands now.
No, you can apply from now going forward. You can
Yeah.
apply whenever you can, and you get to keep it for as long as you
But
have
we
it.
haven't made that change, and you're just saying, as far as the
Correct.
state is concerned.
As far as for the county,
Yeah,
you know, because the county has taken off their time limit. This town still has a term limit of 10 years.
So we would have
Which will be
to,
next year.
Well, yeah, most everybody who got it the first year.
so we'd have to amend the
Except
local
for
law.
him, I think he got it after the first
Yeah,
year.
so, I mean, if the town don't adopt it, we won't get it here?
You'll get it at the county level, and you'll get it at the town level for the town tax till the end of the 10-year term. You're welcome.
But we have, it can be adopted anytime between now and like later in the year, right?
To apply for, yes, because most everybody
It covers
has
next
till
year.
18.
It's till
So
It still
2019.
covers
19
next
will be the
year.
year.
So yes, we can do it, you don't have to do it right now, because we could do it as long as it's 60 days prior to the next taxable status date. But most people who signed up, with the exception of Sean off the top of my head, didn't get it the first year. So most, probably 20 out of 22 will lose it after the 2018 tax.
my hunch is the stop date for your service is 91 or so.
It varies. There's different. They give you a whole page of dates you got to go by.
Okay.
What they consider war and conflict is not the same as what most everybody else would
Yeah.
consider war and conflict.
All right,
Thank
thanks.
you, Lena.
Anything else?
The other thing, I did contact Mr. Amador's office and Mr. Tedisco. I don't even know if Tedisco is actually in this county anymore, or does any of this, to get them to get their star letters out. They send pamphlets out every year to people because they know they're turning 65. Unfortunately, they send them the second week in February, which is too late because everybody waits. So I did speak to both offices probably 2 weeks ago, and they're all sending them out in December.
Okay, and it's Santa
Oh.
Barbara. It's Amador and Santa
It's in,
Barbara.
okay, so, okay, I'll call him then. Because I did call Tedisco and Amador, and they, so, just to get people, I tried to explain to them, I tried to get them to do it last year, they did not, but my thought is, at least if we get them out in December, it gives people